Hello and welcome to another episode of PL Seasons to Remember. We thought we'd just come on and do a quick episode on regarding what's been happening in the world of football as the Premier League started again yesterday. But before we talk about the Premier League, we've got a transfer update, and so we'll cross over to Bob and he can talk us through it, Bob.
Only because Dougie's been busy at work, so he hasn't seen it. He doesn't know what's going on in the world. Just that my club Chelsea have signed Timo Werner from RP Leipzig. And I said it right, didn't I? Yeah. Basically, I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on, obviously, because you're a Liverpool guy, but interesting to find out where you think you might fit in the Chelsea system. And do you think it means Tammy Abraham's on the bench? And, you know, we're getting linked with other guys like Kai Havertz and stuff as well. And I'm thinking a lot of these youngsters who've got a shot might not get those same opportunities again.
Yeah, I think firstly, about Timo Werner, I think it's we've said on previous podcasts that he wanted to go to Liverpool, so I took a bit of an L there.
But I was saying Coutinho at Chelsea. That's not going to happen now. I don't think. But I thought he was going to be our summer signing, Coutinho, but we're not even linked with him now. So I think he's going to end up somewhere else. But it's easy to get caught up in that. The thing is, we talked about is Timo Werner would have gone to Liverpool if he'd have had that option, but that option wasn't there for him. And, you know, obviously we don't know what's happened conversation-wise, but you don't need Timo Werner, do you? I think we do.
Well, this is it. I said it on an earlier podcast regarding about Timo Werner. I said, is he better than what we have? In a sense that he probably is as a striker. He's better than Firmino for scoring goals, but it's whether he can create what Firmino can do.
That's the thing. Firmino is the perfect foil for Salah and Mane, where Werner would have to come in and learn that role, wouldn't he? Where I get the feeling coming to Chelsea, he's going to get to be the man. So Absolutely. That's kind of probably an attraction for him as well. So
I think going on to Timo Werner going to Chelsea, I think he's a very good signing. I think. For me, I think Frank Lampard has looked at what's happened this season, just because he's not been able to spend anything.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of it.
That's why I think we've got money now.
He's sort of gone, maybe it's not going to work with what we have, so maybe we have to strengthen, but also, has he sort of been slipped into the thing of, actually, as Roman Abramovich or someone being in his ear said, this youth thing isn't going to work. We need to step up and we need to get players in. So I think it's going to be difficult now for the players that have been here. So you like say your Mason Mounts and your Tammy Abrahams, because if, like I said, they were thinking of getting the other guys, you know, where's he fit? So it's becoming that thing with Chelsea again, that is youth going to be pushed out again for the new blood of new players coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because you've already come in, maybe Lampard's thinking I can play these guys, you know, together. And there's a lot of games in a season. Werner's not going to play all 38 games and then all the cup games and stuff as well. So there is that to consider. But I mean, we're not guaranteed Champions League. So if we had to end up in Europa League, that'll probably be better for those younger players because they'll probably get to play a lot of Europa League football. I don't think Abraham's not going to get a lot of game time, but he's not going to get as much. But watching us this season, before it all went pear-shaped with COVID, Abraham was looking very, very tired. And I think they've probably looked at that as well. Because you can't. The thing is, we can't compete with you guys, like Liverpool or even Man City, with what we've got. So we needed to do something.
I also think that Chelsea haven't got a prolific goal scorer.
That's the problem. We create a lot of chances and we don't score.
Player, but he's not going to get you 30 goals a season. And Timo Werner will at least get close to that. Well, depending on how he fits.
He should do.
How he fits.
I mean, he's got, you know, this is we've seen players go moves and flop, so you never know, so you can't guarantee it. But he's probably more of a guarantee than what we've got. But for me, Abraham, I think probably will be a 20 to 30 goal scorer, but not yet. I think he's too young. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, my worry with Chelsea is we seem to be linked with all these attacking players, and it's like, well, what about our defence? I know we've been linked with Ben Chilwell at left back, and we definitely need a left back, but for me, centre back's been a real problem for us. Although Kante's missed a lot of the season, and I don't know if maybe him being back in would help. But then, are we looking to get rid of him? Because we've got that many midfielders.
It's also who's coming out, and like I said, this will be Frank Lampard's team once he's finished. So his hands have been, like I said, his hands were very tight at the start of the season because he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So he's looked and said, okay, these players ain't good enough. We need this. So he knows what he wants, and I think he must have wanted Timo Werner, or they wouldn't have been going for him. So
yeah, and apparently Ziyech as well, because I know he's coming in. But again, he's like a midfielder / wide player.
He's a wide player, so
yeah.
He's got Christian Pulisic as well, so they played a lot.
Hudson-Odoi. Yeah.
So he's blessed with talent, but it's talent that won't want to sit on the bench every week. So it's a good thing to have. It's a good predicament to be in when you've got a lot of.
Yeah.
It's a really good predicament to be in.
I think it's good for the league as well. These players are coming over because you've got. We'd like to see it, don't we? Like to see. The thing is that, and obviously when we talk about, because Liverpool are going to win the league, let's face it. When we get to that episode where we talk about Liverpool being champions, I want to touch on like the competition they've had, because I think that's a very important thing. But we'll obviously I think we'll save that for that conversation, because it'll probably be me and you on that episode, won't it? For the
I can't imagine anyone's going to for that.
But no, yeah, I think it's going to be. I've got a lot of questions for you on that one, so I'll save them for that. But yeah, so obviously exciting, big players coming to the Premier League. So who knows what other moves? I'm wondering if this is going to kickstart the summer spending now, and everyone's going to go out and start. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see who spends. That's the big question. Who spends? Yeah. Who's going to spend right? Who's going to spend right?
I think there's a few things to watch this summer. One is what happens with Man City's appeal for the Champions League. I've got to admit, this sounds wrong. A part of me would find it very funny if they got kicked out but won it, because I think it makes you UEFA look a bit stupid. You know what I mean? It would be quite funny. But obviously, and you can't guarantee who's going to win. Look, when Porto won it, you wouldn't have thought they were going to win it, would you?
Well, they're doing for people that aren't aware that they're doing a little mini tournament.
Yeah.
League.
We're already out pretty much. They might as well just told us we can't play.
The final will be in August. I can't exactly remember what day it is. I think it's like the 24th, maybe, of August. I think the Champions League games are starting on the 6th. In terms of the end, finishing those first them second legs, and then I think it's in fact, Heart City losing their first leg to Real Madrid, 2-1 down out there. Are they winning? They're winning.
Oh, they're 2-1 up. Sorry, got that wrong way around. So that'll be an interesting game. Ours probably less so, because we're probably already out to 3-0 down to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think there's a very, very much a long way back. Especially.
Yeah, you never say never.
Never say look what we did with us.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't see it.
Are you happy with the Timo Werner signing them, Bobby?
I have to be completely honest, right? I don't know a lot about the guy. I've seen some of his goals. Looks like he's got a bit of pace and he can finish. And I'm like, well, looks a good player. I only know what you told me on that episode as well, because to be honest with you, I've been kind of out of the loop a bit with football, like around the world.
Yeah.
I've been just on the Premier League this year, really. I've not really. I mean, like that. We're linked with that guy, like Kai Havertz. I don't know anything about him either. Everyone tells me he's good. I'm like,
I don't know a lot.
I don't think it's like the old days where I used to get really excited. I think as well, I used to take a lot more notice who was out there back in those days. But you go back yourself, don't you? Like when you thought, I would love to have like Adriano, and then what happened to him and stuff. And you got to be careful wanting players sometimes, because you can play a bit of PlayStation football in your mind, can't you? So, but no, I think it's good for Premier League. Something I wanted to touch on before, like you mentioned the Champions League. Now he will not be playing for Leipzig in the Champions League from now on. He's decided in July to just come and start, work with Chelsea. I don't know what you think of it.
What does that tell you, though?
On another note, and I think it's probably a good comparison, Pedro is no longer willing to play for Chelsea, but he agreed to go to Roma months ago. Right. So I kind of think from his point of view, I kind of get it a bit more, because I'm like, well...
I think there's some other players there that are using to play now. But they were within their right. If they go and get injured...
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like, let's say Pedro played for us and got badly injured and they were out for a year. Roma are going to be like, well, we're not signing you. And he's got no money coming in for a year. I think it's one of those a bit. I think what you'll start to see is contracts will change, and in contracts they'll put in like in the situation of something like this, you've got to stay at your club until.
Yeah, I think we all know at some stage football is going to change tremendously. The rule, and I think it's going to change. So,
but what do you think of Werner refusing to play for Leipzig in the Champions League? Do you think?
I think there's something happened there. Why would you refuse to maybe get a chance of getting a winner's medal? So.
And you know what? They can say he can say, "Oh, I don't think we'll win it," but you never know.
Depends. Do you know what it is? Right, it's all depending on exactly who wanted him in the first place. Because it could be one of them things where someone's wanted him and said, "We're not letting him go for that price," and he's gone.
Oh. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Chelsea coming. We'll give you this because it's more than what the last team's gone, and they go, "Yeah, we'll accept that." And they'll go, "Fine, I'll go to Chelsea, but I ain't playing for you again." And,
maybe it could be.
Me putting something out there, but it could be completely wrong. But it's some of that could be something in something like that.
Yeah, there could be more to it. I do think you're going to probably get some players not wanting to play, like you say. The injury thing, I think, is a bigger one. I personally don't like it. I think given what's happened, I thought people would have more respect for the clubs they're at and say, "I'm going to stay." But like you say, we don't know the whole details, do we? So we can sit here and give our opinions. But I mean, Pedro one, I kind of was a bit angry at first until he explained it, and I thought, well, I actually kind of get it now because he'd agreed to go to Roma anyway in July. So
that's probably going to be Pedro's last big contract, and if that all goes pear-shaped,
and we can't. He's been a great servant at club and stuff. We can't complain.
He's been a good servant to the Premier League. He's been exciting over the years,
and he's not really getting in our team anymore either. So maybe he's fought from that perspective as well. So good luck to him anyway. But we'll have to keep watching because this is going to be
Chelsea coming. Big transfer window.
Yeah, this is going to be a massive thing with contracts and players, and I think you're going to see a lot more of it. And in a way, is this the sign that player power has gone a bit too far as well? You know, guess we'll have to touch on that as we get more transfer.
So, guys, just let us know what you think about Timo Werner coming to Chelsea. What do you think for him not wanting to play for Leipzig in the Champions League, and who else do you sort of think is going to be going to different places? I'm sure we're going to be doing more shows as the transfer window on, just to sort of get what we think regarding all this stuff. But coming away from that and coming on to the Premier League, as it was started yesterday. It's strange. It was a strange old day with actually with no fans there. I've been watching it in Germany, but I suppose when it's your league, you take more notice. So
What have you thought to the crowd noise and stuff for the FIFA crowd noise?
I don't think it works because I think it's a couple of. It seems like it's a couple of steps behind because I'm sort of pressing a button when it gets further and further. I mean, I watched some Aston Villa player had the forward Davis, I think his name was, had a header and put it wide, but he put it wide, and then they went, "Oh!" So he don't.
Got you. Yeah.
Following, do you know like when you watch
it? Instead of just having noise, they're putting actual sounds in like that, like if it's got got you. Because I didn't really notice that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It's going to take a little bit of jigging about because it's only the first time they've done it, so take a few jigging about. But on the game itself, I think if we talk about the Aston Villa game, there wasn't a lot to the game, but
it's pretty poor, isn't it?
The talking point was the Sheffield United goal that wasn't a goal. I mean, we talk about the ghost goal of Luis Garcia, but dear me, goalkeeper might as well just sat in the net. He was far over. I don't know what you think to that, Bobby. I'm sure you've seen it.
I mean, just going on some controversial goals. I remember obviously Lampard against Germany, which I'm still angry about. Which is and then I think of ones like I remember Middlesbrough against West Ham. It didn't go over the line and they gave a goal. And even Teddy Sheringham was like, Steve McClaren, no, it's nowhere near.
You remember the Bolton one? That went over the line, and didn't Bolton get relegated that year because the ball crossed the line?
I don't remember that one. I was just remembering one again. I think it was Crystal Palace and the shot, and the ball went to the side netting and came out. It bounced in and bounced out, but it didn't go in the goal. It was the side of the goal, and they gave a goal.
Oh, a Watford game in Championship, that.
Was it Watford and Crystal Palace?
It wasn't, but I do remember, I do recall it.
So it hit the boards behind from the side of the net, and they gave a goal. Hey, I remember one on FIFA. We scored with Joe Cole, went through side net, and he got given.
I remember the Did he give a goal? And they're all walking back to halfway and waiting for goal kick and restaurant. Yeah. Oh dear.
We need to do a controversial moments episode.
Yeah,
definitely, and do one of them. Talk about stuff like that.
I'm sure you've seen the footage of it. What an absolutely crazy situation that.
It's so over the line. I mean, I was talking to a friend because I didn't really understand how goal line worked. I didn't know if there was something in the ball, or if it was. He says there's some chip on the goalpost or something. So it must be. It's
like a sensor.
But what I get, how does it differentiate a goal and a person? A ball and a person. What's the differential? Has it got something in the ball?
The Hawkeye said, and I'd like to quote you everything he said, but I can't remember off the top of the head. He was sort of saying that it's the first time in 9,000 games they've done of it, one mistake in 9,000. So if you'd have sort of said one mistake in 9,000 games, you'd probably take it. But looking at this situation.
Are you there, Dougie? You're frozen. If you can hear me, buddy, hang up and call back in. Oh, there you are. You've come back now. What happened then?
Yeah.
Right. If it does it and you don't get back on, just hang up and come back in. It's still recording anyway, so.
So yeah, as I was saying, I think it was the goal that they blocked from the goalkeeper with the goalpost. They sort of supposedly blocked one of the cameras. Now, what had happened then is they're not given a goal. It's what I found out when I was watching it yesterday, that when Michael Oliver got back to the dressing room, his watch buzzed and said goal. So
yeah,
I don't understand.
That's like a delay, then, isn't it? That's like when you send a text message. You used to send it back in day, but we all do like iMessages and stuff now. And it used to be sending, and it wouldn't quite send, but then they get a signal and it'd send. It's almost like that, isn't it? Like a phone signal.
So he sat in the dressing room talking when he goes, "Oh God," and goal. But he's had to come out and apologise. He's like, "What do you want me? It's not my fault." But the question I ask him is, why have VAR there? VAR could look to that in seconds and said it's a goal. But that now,
this is what I don't get about VAR.
Now, if they lose out by,
I think we'll talk about that after the because I think that's a valuable point to it. But you're taking. We all saw on the replays it was in by a country mile. The goalkeeper knew it was in. To a goalkeeper, you would try and deny it, wouldn't you? Because you don't want to concede a goal. And I don't blame Aston Villa, when they were afterwards. Jack Grealish, he said they were delighted. I don't blame him because they need the points as well. There is a moral thing to it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But it's just we could all see it. For me, because I think VAR is something that the referee has to refer it, does it, to VAR?
No, VAR are already watching it anyway, I believe. So they're always in his ear.
So if they're watching it, why can't they just say, "Oh, it's a goal, Michael"? It makes no sense. It seems to me VAR is used when it's convenient.
You go back, and it's a good point, that, Bob, because you go back to the City Spurs game when
they scored
with a penalty where Tottenham played on, and it was about 3 or 4 minutes later, and he stopped the game and went penalty and went all the way back to something that happened 4 or 5 minutes ago. So it can be done.
So they are watching the whole game, then, aren't they?
Yeah, because they're always in his ear. That's what I don't understand. If they know it was for me, it could be wrong. If the Premier League got in touch at halftime and said, "Yeah, it was a goal,"
so they should have given the goal then. Do you think?
That's good.
I've got a question for you. Do you think? And this was talked about today on the football show on Sky, and it was Danny Mills and Agbon Lahore. Agbon Lahore was talking absolute rubbish because he's a Villa man. He's gonna. But Danny Mills said it was no different than the Leeds Villa situation last season when Leeds scored when a Villa player was down, and then they went and let Aston Villa score. It's no different, is it? So he says Villa should have let them score a goal.
I think the problem is what happened with it. You could deem as unsportsmanlike. I don't know. I think you play to the whistle. I understand Villa's point of view. I understand Leeds' point of view. You play to the whistle for me.
Yeah, but on this, what do you think of this one? Do you think Villa should have?
Well, it's technology gone wrong. It's a goal. It's The technology there to stop this from happening.
So, do you think Villa should have let them score?
No, I don't think they should let them score. I think the goal should have been given.
Just been given after.
It's given at half time. How many players do you see get sent off at half time?
That's true. That's happened before.
The game's on, but they get sent off.
I want to bring up Agbonlahor right now because Agbonlahor was driving me nuts because Danny Mills was saying how was it any different and he couldn't tell him. And Agbonlahor was basically saying, he said, "Oh well, what if Villa had scored an equaliser anyway?" And it's like, yeah, but they didn't score a single goal in the game. Going 1-0 down might have given them a kick up the butt and they might have come back and won and scored a goal. But Sheffield United, who scored a goal, were denied the right to have a goal. So, and then obviously your point about the Champions League or even Europa League, because European football is important to clubs, money wise and stuff. If that costs them a place in Europe by 2 points, that I mean, let's face it, we all get bad decisions throughout the season. It happens, and they say they even themselves out. It's a bit of an old cliche, but really, football is won over a certain amount of games, and you get the points you get. But if they don't win, if they don't get by like a point or 2 points, Champions League, and they were like close, or even Europa League, how
the counter argument to that is, I totally agree. It all sort of it's always that thing. It evens itself out over the season. Now, it shouldn't even itself out, obviously, because they should get it right. But if we didn't have VAR and we didn't have goal line technology and it was missed, then I can go, yeah, it's one of them things.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right. Yeah.
But when you've got something there that has worked for 9,000 games, you expect it to be working.
Well, goal line's been fantastic. I think I can't stand VAR, but I hate goal. I mean,
it's revolutionised football.
Yeah,
it's revolutionised football.
But
it's one of them things you can't then
say.
Do
you think VAR's been successful this season? I'm just going to bring up a point here. Do you remember the Chelsea Tottenham game with who was the player who stamped on? Not Lamella, or it? No, it wasn't him, was it? It was someone else.
No, I think I know what you're on about. I know what you're on about.
And then they didn't send him off, and then about 10 minutes later, they went, "Yeah, we made a mistake. We should have sent him off."
Oh, was it?
I can't remember his name. It won't come to me at all. But anyway, you talk about that. That's another VAR. That's a big mistake because Tottenham scored in that game and could have equalised. I mean, they didn't, but that would have completely. Them losing him would have completely changed their chances of even getting a goal. Now here, we have, it's not a red card, but VAR, somebody is it Stanley Park or whatever, they were like, oh, it's a goal that. So Michael, it went in. Michael Oliver hadn't done anything wrong because his watch, he probably didn't even know what he could do at half time because it probably would have had to have gone to a panel of independent thingies to talk about what if he's allowed to give a goal or not. So you can't really blame the referee.
The Hawkeye have come out and apologised to Sheffield United in the Premier League for that happening. All right, apologising, get the damn stuff right in the first place. It's there. Yeah. It's there to be right.
I've got a question.
I thought we've not turned it on. I think we all said it.
I joked to you, didn't I? Is the guy getting sacked at Villa Park at the season? He thought, I'm just not going to switch it on.
I wouldn't. Going back onto your thing, do I think VAR has been successful? Okay, it's helped. It's helped Liverpool a lot this year. That's why we always get the laugh of Liverpool.
It's a joke, isn't it? It's not.
I just sort of think there's, when we're talking the other day, we're talking off camera, we're talking about rules and there needs to be set rules. I sort of think there's rules with a VAR that we don't really know a right lot about. So
no. And
I don't think the ref knows a right lot about. And I think that's the problem. I think there's like we take the Trent Alexander-Arnold thing up when we play City at home, where it hits somebody, Bernardo Silva, and then bounces and then hits Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
They don't give a penalty. We go upfield and score. And that's what I'm saying. But it's like...
Yeah. We could probably do an episode on VAR.
That's what I'm saying. This is why with refs that they're all different, because that ref said in the VAR that it wasn't a penalty because there wasn't enough for it to be a penalty.
Yeah.
Another referee another day would have given it. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, it should all be.
We saw it in the was it the World Cup or it was the World Cup, wasn't it? We saw a lot of bad. Do you remember the Man United penalty against PSG? The softest handball they've ever seen. I mean, you know what? It was almost like we're getting excited about VAR, and they had to give a. I remember we played Norwich at FA Cup. There was VAR, and we got two. I think Giroud got booked for diving. No, it was Morata got booked for diving, and the replay got cleaned out, but VAR didn't give us a penalty. You just like.
It's like what can you come in? What is VAR there for? Oh, it needs to be the thing of. Is you know.
It should have been there for that yesterday, shouldn't it?
What's point having it? What's point having it there? There's no point having it there, is there? If it's not going to work, it's like it's like the team over there with the goal line technology has got VAR in this corner, and they're going, have they clicked it yet? And they're all looking at each other, thinking, and it's gone too far now.
Yeah,
can't do it about it now because it's like they're waiting for the other person to make the decision, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
But then Michael Oliver, if VAR said there's an issue here, if VAR got there's an issue,
they should have done, yeah.
Right, with the goal line technology, we're looking at it, it looks like a goal, and Michael got right. Go over to the screen, check the angles that we all saw on Sky.
Yeah, he could have waited for the ball got play or stop the game and said, right, just need to go check this. But
yeah, I do feel
so. Last question on this then, because I don't want to spend too long on it. We've got others to talk about. But if Sheffield United don't get Champions League by a point, 2 points, even Europa League, don't get any European foot whatsoever, do they have a case to sue Hawkeye because they've been robbed out of that financial like cushion they would have got from European football?
The problem is, it's a bit what like Gabriel Bonahor said. It's a bit of the case in where you could complain, but then the game has about 45 minutes to go. So
absolutely, yeah. Well, we talked about stuff like that before, haven't we? Yeah.
If it was the last kick of the game, and that's it, and the ref blows the whistle straight after, you think we'd have won that.
Yeah.
But then there's still another 45 minutes to go, and I think
it's all right. Sorry. I don't know who Sheffield United's next game is, right? But let's say Sheffield United are playing Man United.
Newcastle away.
Well, let's just say Sheffield United are playing Man United, right? Last minute, one of Sheffield United players dies for a penalty, and VAR says, yeah, it's a penalty, but it's not, and then they win. Does that kind of then, is that the even it out thing? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but do you know what I mean? Because Man United are kind of one of their... Do you get what I'm saying now?
Saying it two wrongs don't make a right. But for football, in a footballing sense, we all think, well, actually...
Yeah. But let's just say that happened, and then Sheffield United got those 2 points, but then they still finished 2 points off the Champions League. They couldn't complain then, could they? Because...
No.
Do you get what I'm saying?
This is it, but this is the problem when they don't get it right, because then there's questions already, and it's only just started. At
the same time, do we look and say, right, I mean, the goal line, that was the first mistake I ever won it. So,
yeah.
VAR, do we look at it? Do we have to take a step back and take our emotions out? Because I don't like it, because for me, I think it takes something away from the game, personally. But it's very young. Do we have to give it that time to get better? And
I think, Bob, I think it's good for the game. It will be good for the game to get it right. I think what you do.
But don't you think the problem in this country has always been officials aren't good enough, and then we've still got the same problem because the officials reviewing it are not good enough?
Yeah. Probably.
So it's almost like maybe the problem is not the technology, but the people behind.
Yeah, and I think what they need to do is they need to. No one. I haven't been to a football match when VAR's been in. I've not, but I've been speaking to people who I've been like, with Claire and T have all been, and you stood there thinking, what's going on?
Yeah.
Let the people know. So I'm saying, checking for a penalty. That all right? That's helpful, but then show the thing. Show it.
Show the replay. Yeah, but then you've got like,
and it works.
We'll go back to the Man City Tottenham. Man City scored at the last minute and then it got scrubbed off. All that emotion, and then it's just like, oh, you haven't got your goal, and it's just
think
it's so deflating.
If VAR gets it right and they get the right calls, I would rather sit for 10 minutes
till they get it right,
wait for the correct decision.
But then sometimes you're not watching it thinking, what's taking you so long? Because sometimes it's so blatant.
We can see it,
but they can see what we can see. And probably more angles as well. I mean, I know there's this thing with the frames per second thing that doesn't always give the offside things correctly, because, like, you know, the frames per second and that, it's like they can't get it that finite that it's like literally it's like So I can kind of get that, but at the same time, you're literally watching a game and you're thinking, well, he's just cleaned him out, that's a penalty, and they're spending 5 minutes checking it, and you're like, well, what's taking so long?
Is VAR actually in for? Is it just in for offsides? Is it in for checking penalties? Is that it? What
I personally, I think it should. It probably should be there for both.
It should be there for everything, because if a decision wrong, then they should be. The referee would rather get a decision wrong and VAR get the correct decision. Gets them out of the rubbish.
Yeah, but then they don't. It's almost like sometimes the referee's going, I think this, and then they've just backed him, even though you can clearly see on replay that it's not that, and it's like. Sorry to bring up this again. Tottenham Chelsea at Tottenham, when our player got cleaned out and the ref booked out the Chelsea player. Luckily, VAR give a penalty. But you think, sometimes what are they seeing? I mean, do we get to a point where you don't have an on-field ref and you just have technology? Because for me, surely you can invent something for an offside that's not a person, but it's like a machine that. Or something.
Rolling camera, couldn't you, that goes along?
Anyway, we could probably talk about this all day. We probably should move on to the next game. So, we both agree. We both think the goal should have been given even at half-time, then, don't we, on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we both agree VAR should have just got to it straight away.
Yeah. If people say, if it was against you, would you say it? Yeah. Because it's
I've questioned decisions against my own team, as well.
I think it's for the good of the game.
Yeah.
For the good of the game, that's what you've got to do.
I've said things on Twitter about VAR decisions, and I've even mentioned it when it's benefited my club, and I've said I don't think it's right. Like, I remember we got that penalty against Super Cup we got against you. I thought that was soft. But I sometimes think that itching to give a penalty.
We were lucky with the Trent one. We were very lucky. I said, I think it was difficult because it bounced, and I think it's the way it went, but his arm is out, in an area where... struggle.
I guess, I like a bit of controversy in the game, and I was thinking, well, VAR has probably just created controversy, but it's in a different way.
What do you mean by what controversy? Because I don't like controversy. I'd rather it be all right. All
right, let's say it. Right, okay. Let's say there's a weekend of football and it's all nice and rosy and everyone wins 1 or 2-0 and blah, 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 blah. But then something happens bad, like... trying to think of something. Let's just go for the ghost goal because that's a good example, right? You would be talking about that for days afterwards. It's like exciting. Where if VAR was there, they'd have gone. Let's just say the check bit didn't happen. They'd have gone, oh no, it's not a goal, and it's like, all right, like examples like that for me. And it's like you look at sometimes you lose to a team. And it hurts, but then you beat them the season after, and it's amazing because you got robbed. No, but it's like you need to have that feeling in football sometimes where you've been a bit of an injustice.
I think you're looking at it from a media point of view there, Bob. So something to write.
So, yeah. They've always got something to write on. But I just think from a fan's point of view, like I remember that going in. Like let's go the Chelsea Barcelona game, right? When we got completely robbed. I remember, you were more mad than me, but I remember going into work and everyone was just talking about it for days, and it's like, it was horrible, but at the same time, it's like, if we'd have just gone through, it probably would have just been forgotten about after a couple of days. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah. I do.
But then VAR has had moments like that where it's been like the City one where they scored in the last minute and then was it offside or whatever or handball?
Laporte his arm, didn't it? Supposedly
yeah.
Arm, didn't it?
And then everyone was like, "Oh my god, that was so bad!" And so it does create. There is still controversy there about it, but
There's always going to be talking points because everyone's got a different opinion. So
yeah,
it was a penalty. I could think it was a penalty, but VAR will give it. It's all about opinions.
It's like you said as well, though. If it goes for you, you're probably going to be quite happy on day, aren't you? But if it doesn't, that's when you're going to be like,
"That's it." You come on here and say it was wrong, but then when you get off camera, it's like, brilliant that.
Right, then shall we move on to the second game?
Coming on to the second part of the evening was Arsenal and Man City. Bob, I just want to get your thoughts on the before the game. So Mikel Arteta comes out before the game, and they were asked regarding David Luiz and regarding the team he's picked. And Mikel Arteta said, "I've seen things over the last couple of weeks, and this is why I've made the decision to play this team." Now, I'm now looking from a perspective of you've got a £72 million player on the bench in Nicolas Pepe.
Yeah.
Lacazette on the bench. You've got Martinelli, who was
playing really well. Yeah.
For Arsenal. So why is Pepe? Why is Nketiah playing when you've got Lacazette? Why is Saka playing on left wing when he's been playing better at left back when you've got Pepe? And I'm a bit lost by that. I was a bit lost by Mikel Arteta's starting lineup yesterday. I really was.
I said to you when we last recorded, which won't be released after this, so I'm going to look even more stupid. I thought Arsenal might shock everyone and get a draw or a win or something, right? Just because everyone was writing them off. Then you text me the team yesterday, and I thought they're screwed because I looked at it. This is going to be I've never looked at an Arsenal team and thought there's always somebody that worries you. And now I look and I'm like, I don't think I'm scared of any of these players. And then it's like you've got your goal scoring machine centre forward playing wide left. Didn't get that. But at the same time, I'm not Mikel Arteta. I'm not seeing in training what he's seeing. Maybe they were the fittest 11 players, going off what he's seen. Or maybe because he knows City, maybe he thought, right, this guy can do this, guy can do it. I don't think we can always necessarily, as fans, we've got a right to question team selections, but I did look at it and think that's a weak team. And then I forgot about Lacazette, and I'm like, hang on, why is he not playing? You mentioned Martinelli. He was playing brilliant before COVID, but maybe he's not fit. I don't know. And then you've got Pepe, which he's still there. You've gone off. You're back.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Someone tried to call me.
Oh, no worries. Nicolas Pepe, for me, has been a bit of an enigma signing. Like, they've bought him. I don't really get what he brings to the team, and they spent a lot of money off it. You even said Unai Emery didn't want him. He wanted Zaha, which I found interesting. But again, if a player is costing you £75 million, why is he not starting a game? And then you talked about... Did you mention Mesut Ozil?
Well, after the game, they asked Mikel Arteta why Mesut Ozil wasn't playing. They said, "Is Mikel Arteta injured?" And he said...
Technical difficulties again for us. It's going to be technical difficulties lately.
And he said that Mesut Ozil wasn't injured. He wasn't playing due to tactical reasons. Now,
why wasn't he on the bench then?
My issue is you now pick 9 players on your bench. If Mesut Ozil can't get on the bench and he's on 350, why is he here?
Do you not think they've got a bit of a problem shifting him as well, though? I think they have tried to... I'm
at a loss with it, Bob. I really am. I'm at a loss with it because if you're every Arsenal fan and a lot of Arsenal fans and a lot of the... Arsenal's one of Arsenal's best players. He's Arsenal's most creative player. Where is he? Why is he not on the bench?
Do you know what, right? The bench. I think he's one of the most uninspiring players at the same time. Like, he doesn't do enough for me. I think he's got the ability to do what you've said, but he doesn't do it. But at the same time, you're playing against Manchester City and you need to create. You think there's got to be some right. Mesut Ozil's best performances were in a Real Madrid shirt, and I remember Mourinho had to basically have a go at him and tell him to get his finger out of his butt. And I think he needs a manager that's going to kick him on the backside. What I don't understand is just even not being on the bench. You know, he's a player who was
flabbergasted by that.
It's bizarre. I mean, like you say, they're kind of stuck with him, so they might as well use him.
But you can look from for an argument's point of view. What does he do when he plays?
And that's what I was just saying. Yeah, but at the same time, surely when you got 20 minutes left on bench, you can hit set piece, can't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then during the game, Arsenal after a minute lost Granit Xhaka, and then
that was a big blow. Yeah.
After about 15 minutes, they lost Pablo Mari. I thought it had to look quite good at the back. I thought Arsenal played really well for about 20
minutes. Yeah.
But then
I think the game was always going the way it went, though. I think City were going to always win. But
they then brought on David Luiz. And we've said on previous podcasts, and I've said it when he was at Chelsea, I said it when he was at PSG, and I'll say it again now he's at Arsenal. For me, he's more interested in getting an assist than he is defending. I agree with you, He just seems to be a person that doesn't want to defend. And he can't defend. And that first goal, he sort of went with his hip.
Concentration.
Put it in the stand. Yeah. You're not going to hit anybody because there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Hit the stand. Then with the second one, let him go.
Do you know the problem with David Luiz? He's not switched on all the time. Like you look at, we talked about John Terry in one of the previous things, how he was always switched on. David Luiz is never. He's not. It's like he's not switched on at all. He's just constantly like I think he's always thinking about the next attack, not defending, like you said. And it didn't look like he wanted to come on when he came on. I think he was laughing at one point.
He also said after the game, he said,
I thought fair play to him that though, coming out and actually.
But then he came out and said, I should have sorted this out. I should have sorted my contract out 2 months ago. Because he's on a thing now for 14 days where Arsenal have got 14 days to extend his contract. If not, then he's out in some ways. So that'll be the end of him till the end of the season. He played these last games and he's done. Depending if he does do what everybody else is doing and saying. So, I just think Arsenal. What is he showing the youngsters at Arsenal? Supposed to be in the most. People come out and say, "Yeah, but he's got experience." Yeah, he has got experience, but he's got experience of making mistakes.
Yeah, I thought Carragher hit the nail on the head though with experience. He said he thinks it's a bit overrated, and basically experience don't mean you're good. So play good players. I think Arsenal would be better off putting a kid in for the rest of the season because it'll be good experience for him. Arsenal aren't going to get Champions League now. I think they've got no chance. I think best they can hope for is Europa League. Although maybe they don't even want to be in that. They might be better off not being in it.
It's an uphill task. But I said City were good last night. It took a while for City to get going.
Kevin De Bruyne was fun. It was the Kevin De Bruyne show on it. Yeah,
it was. He's a class act, isn't he? It took a while.
He's a brilliant player. Yeah, well, I thought City were a bit sloppy to start with, and then as the game wore on, they got better. It was almost like Arsenal. I think Arsenal probably could have held them to 0-0 for longer, but I think they still would have lost. But David Luiz, he just basically gifted them 2 goals. Yeah. I mean, Raheem Sterling probably couldn't believe that ball got to him. He probably was like, "Oh."
I don't understand. I think Arsenal, unless they invest, and we've had conversations about Arsenal about investment. If they don't invest, then they will be in the same predicament every single season because there's no one that if you bring William Saliba's going to be coming in, he's supposed to be a really high rated young centre back. Who are you putting him with?
Well, let's face it, Mustafi. I mean, I thought Mustafi did all right yesterday, but he's not.
Arsenal don't have one decent centre back. Centre back there, and it's a sad thing that because they've always had good centre backs.
If you were Aubameyang, would you want to stay now? Because he's 31. he's probably thinking, I reckon he probably could get moved to somewhere like Real Madrid if he wanted.
He doesn't get the ball. He didn't get the ball.
That's what I mean. So he's gonna be frustrated in it. I just think, right, and let's just take out who the club is because they're a massive club. But would you want to play for them, right? You'd probably look, wouldn't you? Like if they can't, because they need to keep Aubameyang if they've got. Because I think if Aubameyang goes, I think players are not going to want to sign just because if a player like that leaves, you're almost thinking, well, why am I joining?
Or why am I staying? As well, so
you can't blame Arteta at the minute because he's just come in and he's going to be a few years till he gets his players.
He's a bit in the same boat as Frank Lampard. Although Frank Lampard has had the thing of
Lampard inherited a much better squad though than he inherited.
Yeah, he's looking over at a team and thinking, right, who do I need? Who's coming on next season with us? I just think they can't stand still. He did come out of a week Arteta and said they're not going to stand still in transfers. Well, he needs to back that. The board needs to back that comment up now.
But can they afford to now? Because you've had the COVID situation. If they don't get Europe, that's another pot of money that's not coming in. Now that what do they do? I mean, and then we're talking about teams. Newcastle are getting taken over. I mean, they've got some American company after them now, aren't they? All these teams are building and building and building. They're almost going to get left behind. I mean, I think they've got to play Spurs, haven't they, Arsenal?
Yeah, Spurs, yeah.
That is going to be a massive game, because...
But they're also saying yesterday, I heard a stat yesterday that Lacazette has only scored 3 away goals.
Yeah, I heard that as well. That's bad, isn't it? But again, if he had better players around him, would he score more?
But I think for criticism of Aubameyang, I love Aubameyang. I think he's a great goal scorer, but he doesn't get involved in the game. He won't put himself out.
No, I agree with you on that. Yeah, but don't you think that's just his style of play?
It is, but I think that you also as well in a sense for Aubameyang, you're putting Aubameyang on the wing, and you put him on the wing with Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker's electric, so you want in the middle. He's playing against Garcia and Laporte. Laporte's quick, but play the ball. Let Aubameyang get in behind you. He's not
just
going
give
to
it. The thing is, as well, that's what you say. If he's your best player, he's got to play in his best position. No danger.
Then play another winger. Play another winger. Pepe is a winger. He's a wide player. Play him in his position. Play him on the wing.
Obviously don't fancy him, though, does he, for some reason?
Wasn't his signing, was it?
Well, no, I guess not.
That's it.
Again, we don't know what fitness level
they see. He chose that team because he said that was the team that was to impress him more than anything else. And the other people on the bench, if you can't get in over youngsters, you've got a problem. You've got.
I think it's a good time for youngsters at Arsenal because they're probably going to think if they're confident, they'll get in that team and get a shot because
especially with Arteta.
Yeah. So David Luiz, do you think he's done at Arsenal now?
I don't believe unless Arteta really wants him. I don't think the board wants him.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Do you know what? Right, I was worried when we got rid of David Luiz because David Luiz can be good on his day. And we talked about, didn't we? How he was good under Conte that season, when he played in the back three protected. He literally had to pass it one side or other side, didn't he? But I struggle to think has he had a good game for Arsenal? Like a really outstanding. I know he scored for him, once or twice, but
he gave a penalty away.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
He gave a penalty away at Chelsea and got sent off.
Yeah.
And he got sent off and gave a penalty away yesterday.
Yeah.
He gets sent off. He's got sent off. I think I heard he's been sent off more times this season than he ever did in his Chelsea career.
I won't be shocked if he doesn't play another game.
No, I think it's done.
Would you, if you were Arteta, would you just be like, I'm going to play one of the youngsters if you had to pick him or a youngster? So you go David Luiz or a youngster.
David Luiz might be wonderful in training.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He might be.
I'm surprised they haven't tried him in the back three because he did play well for us in the back three. But
David Luiz was good in the back three because he was protected by his midfield.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They might not be as protected, but it'd still be a little bit more protected, wouldn't he? If he just had to pass it side, you think they'd maybe try it.
As I said, I think this is the thing. You don't even see youngsters making mistakes like what he did. If it was a youngster, you could sort of turn and say he'll learn.
Yeah. Or he's got potential to learn. Yeah.
But with David Luiz, you can't say, well, he's still learning. He's not learning. He's a Brazilian. He was a Brazilian international. He's won a lot of trophies, played a lot of big games, but he just seems, like I said, in my opinion, he thinks more about what he's doing going forward than what.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I think he's done there anyway. He'll go somewhere else and he'll go back to Portugal or Spain or somewhere. I'm sure he'll probably still do all right. But
yeah,
for me, do you remember Benitez and even Marino put him in midfield for a bit because they didn't know what to do with him.
Tell you though, what does it tell you if no one knows where he's good at?
But this is the thing for me. If David Luiz is so good about attacking, why did he choose to be a central defender? Why did he not decide to become a midfielder and try and be a midfielder? It just seems a bit strange. It's almost like he wants to be Rio Ferdinand, but he ain't anywhere near as good as Rio Ferdinand.
It's like, do you know when we used to play on FIFA on PES and you think, all right, I'm going to take my centre back and try and round him.
Yeah.
Like, and you get so far, you think, oh, bugger, and you've lost the ball. I just think, yeah. But yeah.
I agree with you.
So just sort of to finish off, let's have a quick chat. What do you think about the big game on tomorrow night was Man United and Spurs? We've been told today by Marina. Yeah. Well, we've not been told by Marina, but he said said to the media that Harry Kane will be starting, which is a big plus for Tottenham. So just sort of finish off. What do you think is going to happen with that game tomorrow?
We have to a prediction.
yeah, we'll do it. Yeah,
I guess prediction. I'm predicting based off neither of these teams have played. They've obviously had a couple of pre-season games, if you want to call them that, or friendlies. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, maybe 2-2, hopefully 3-3 or 4-4. Sort of. But I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I think Marino probably going a bit pragmatic. I think if anyone's going to win, I think I probably fancy Man United because Spurs before the break were just leaking goals, and Man United were playing well. Of course, anything can change because they've both had a rest now. The big plus for Spurs is they've now got those players back that were injured, like Kane, and he's had a break. So I'm going to go 1-1, and I think Kane will get a goal. I'm not predicting who's going to score for Man United. Pogba, maybe. Let's go Pogba penalty. There you go.
Predicting. I'm predicting. I think it'll be. I agree. I think it'll be 1-1. I think Mourinho will put every man behind the ball. But I'm going to say it now. Probably what happened. But Paul Pogba will lose the ball trying to do something, and Tottenham will score from an error by Paul Pogba. Now, I'm not going to say that's what I'm going to say. Yeah, that's what will happen. But I think something.
I'm going for 2 penalties. I'm going to Kane penalty and a Pogba penalty. That's my prediction.
I'll go same as you. A Pogba error for a Spurs goal.
And Graham Souness will be on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right, yeah.
We'll try and catch up. We'll try and find some time next week to do another one of these then, if we can.
Yeah.
Talk about the games and maybe not every game, but just the big talking points like we have done tonight.
So, guys, yeah, like I said, give us your comments and let us know what you think about David Luiz and Arsenal. What do you think the scoreline will be?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Yeah, let us know what you think. Also, the Merseyside derby is also on Sunday as well, which is another big game.
Have a prediction for that one as well?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like, a derby game.
2-0 Liverpool. That's where I'm going.
Behind closed doors. I'll take 2-0.
I think he'll score early, and then Everton will get the back up, and then he'll just score another goal on break late, and that'll be end of it.
It'll be an interesting game, but I want to see how Liverpool come out.
Everton couldn't even beat your kids, so I won't worry.
I want to see him come out, take the game by the scruff of the neck, and win it in the first half, and then we go on, we take people off, and we get ourselves ready for Wednesday, and let's go win the title on Wednesday.
And who have you got Wednesday?
Palace.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah, exactly. So let's win the league. Let's get it done now. Let's get these 2 games.
I think you'll win your next 2 games and win league.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be all smiles for the next, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time when we've won the title. But yeah,
well, you will be.
I will be. Yeah, not about anybody else. You probably won't see anybody else on podcast now for a couple of
months. I'll be on it. I'll come on. You got to always congratulate the champions, on you. So.
But yeah, you can tweet us ever PLC at PLSeasons and PLSeasons remember at gmail.com. Thank you very much, Bob, and
thank you.
We'll all see you again. Thank you.
Take care.